Ivan, the remarkable true story of shopping mall gorilla by Newbery medalist Katherine Applegate. The remarkable true story of shopping mall gorilla. For everyone who loved Ivan. In leafy calm and gentle arms, a gorilla's life began. The baby was born in a tropical forest in Central Africa. It was part of a large family of western lowland gorillas. The troop included babies, juveniles, females, and a male leader and silverback. The more the baby gorilla grew, the more he played. The more he played, the more he learned. He rode on his mother's back and he listened to the hoots and groots and chest beats of his father. He watched the old gorillas clever and quick. As they wrestled in the chase that hung from lines, he did not learn about the humans until it was too late. Poachers with loud guns and cruel hands stole the little gorilla from another baby. After thousands of miles and endless days in a black, dark camp crate, at last night in the fresh air, the jungle green with life was gone. The gorillas had traveled halfway around to Tacoma, Washington. The man who owned a shopping mall had ordered and paid for them like a couple pizzas and like a pair of shoes. The people cooed and laughed at held the babies. They dressed them in human clothes and fed them human food. The shopping mall owner named the babies contest. The winning names were Bruma and Ivan. One dark day, soon after the babies arrived in a strange new world, Bruma died. Without her, Ivan was all alone, with too much left to learn. While he was little, Ivan was cute and cuddly. For 3 years he lived in a home like a human child. He slept in a bed and went to baseball games. He held babies and he rode on a motorcycle. He had to learn many things. Gorillas in the wild don't even know what to do. The one thing Ivan didn't need to learn was how to eat. The more he ate and the more he grew. The more he grew was less than he could live in a human life in a human home. A cage in the mall became Ivan's new home. That was much to do. Sometimes Ivan watched TV. Sometimes he played with one old tire. Sometimes he finger painted, signing the papers with his thumbprint. Mostly he watched the humans watching him. Ivan was about 13 when his coat began to shimmer. With shiny little white hairs, he had grown into a silverback gorilla. In the jungle, he would have been ready to protect his family. But he had no family to protect. After year passed, people began to grow angry about Ivan's lonely life. Children and adults wrote letters and signed petitions to help protests. Ivan lived in his cage without the company of other gorillas for 27 years. Well, before he was sent into another journey. This time in the hands of a gentle Zoolanta. Wasn't jungle, but it was a place with walls, still, breezy care, jungle sounds and scents. Science understood the needs of gorillas and Evan just slowly, carefully, gentle in his new life. Finally, it was time when Ivan ready. Cameras clicked and reporters watched. When Ivan stepped onto the cool green grass, the sunlight gleamed on his silver hair. People cheered and laughed and wept for joy. Ivan, the shopping mall gorilla, was a place with trees, grass, and other gorillas at last. In leafy climb and gentle arms, gorilla's life began and again. The facts about Ivan's early life was not well recorded, but as far as we know, Ivan was born in 1962 in what is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He was about 6 months old when he caught by poachers and traded with illegally captured, often killed wood animals. It's unclear what happened to Ivan's family, but he was seized with another gorilla, a young female, mostly like an infant or a different mother from Ivan's troop. The two babies were shipped to B&I Circus store in Tacoma, a shopping center for frequently played wild animals, including an elephant, a seal, a chimpanzee, and attract customers. To their latest acquisition, B&I sponsored contests to come up with the best names for the babies. Names had been given with a B and an I. The winners received $500. The little female gorilla, Bruma, died shortly after her arrival to the United States, but Ivan survived. For the next 2 years, he lived in a home with a family who ran a pet store in B&I. While there, Ivan had a very human existence. He particularly liked fried chicken dinners swinging from lamps and curtains. When he grew too big to handle, around age 5, Ivan was placed in an enclosure at B&I, and he spent much of his time in a small 14 by 14 foot steel cement room. He quickly became a popular attraction and was known as a shopping mall gorilla. There was little for Ivan to do with his days, although he seemed to enjoy finger painting and often watched television. Many drew up greeting Ivan regularly. They would stare at his eyes and press his hands in Ivan's window, waiting for him to pound on the glass as he dashed by. During the 27 years Ivan lived in this cage, people became aware of the needs of captive wild animals. The idea that animals need habitats mimic their natural environment, as well as daily stimulation and company of others of their own kind, representing the new approach for care. In 1990, when Ivan's story was featured in the National Geographic documentary, The Urban Gorilla, his flight became widely known. Several newspapers covered the story. In fact, I first learned about Ivan in 1993 when I came across an article in the New York Times. The gorilla sulks in the mall and his future is debated. As frustration with Ivan grew, many of the local residents, children and adults, boycotted the B&I protests Ivan's existence. Ivan's supporters held Free the Gorilla rallies. They wrote angry letters to the local, state, and national officials, and they became sure that Ivan's story received new coverage. One 11-year-old 50th grader gathered more than 1,500 signatures to free Ivan petition. In 1994, with the help of Seattle's Woodland Park Zoo, Ivan was moved to Zoo Atlanta, a premier facility that houses the nation's largest population of the gorilla's 1.5-acre natural habitat. Ivan was allowed to slowly acclimate to his new life. At first, he was afraid with the other gorillas, but gradually became more comfortable with them. He never had children, but he enjoyed playing with the juvenile gorillas and the females of the zoo. He disliked the wet weather, it was well known, and he often carried a burlap coffee bag with him to protect his feet from the dumped grass. To those who knew him, he seemed to be content and less. Ivan died in 2022 at the age of 50. The oldest gorilla now living in captivity is 52. The gorillas in the wild typically live only into their 30s. Zoo Atlanta held a memorial service for his beloved celebrity gorilla, which was attended by the people from all over the country. Ivan is remembered for the quirky personality, his loving relationship with his keepers, as well as representing the need for all animals to be treated dignity and kindness. If you want to learn more, you can go to the zoo. That's really cool.